Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity in the Seven Hills. Whether you're here in person or out there online, we welcome you. Know that you are in the right place at the right time and you are the right person. So, let's stand up and we'll start the day with some singing. Good morning. Good morning, Unity. Welcome to Harmony. Come through those open doors. This church is yours. This is where we learn and grow. Find the things we really know. Look inside to find the way. Start a brand new day. Wake up, everybody. Good morning, Unity. Welcome to Harmony. Come through those open doors. This church is yours. Good morning, everyone. You're shining like the sun. Glad I made it here in time. This church is mine. This church is mine. This church is mine. So here you go. This is a Ricky Byers song we haven't done in a long time. Don't catch on though. Whoa, whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Whoa. I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I should. The preacher told me I had to be good. Now I love cause I want to. Love cause I'm free. Oh, I'm blinded by the Spirit. Oh Lord, the Spirit of God is upon me. Yes it is. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Yeah. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Yes it is. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. I don't need any prodding. Don't need any law. I want to sing with all my heart. God is my one and all. I let go of my burdens. Loving God has made me free. I'm led by the Spirit, oh Lord. The Spirit of God is upon me, yes it is. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me, yes it is. Whoa. Every day, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me everywhere. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Now we've got a little dance break. Not just for me, it's for you guys too. Come on now. Let's see those hips jiggle and wiggle. Yeah, you can use the aisles, come on. Here we go. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me, yes it is. Whoa, every day the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me, yeah. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. I thought it was my duty, thought it was my job I swear I believe that loving God would be hard. But loving God is wonderful. Loving God is ecstasy. I thank God for my freedom, yeah. Let me tell you, the Spirit is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Sing it now. Whoa. Every day, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Every day, the Spirit of God is upon me. Yeah. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. And we've got another old classic that we're going to do. You will know this one if you were been here before. Maybe the new folks won't be. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the love you want to flow. Be the peace you want to feel around you. Forgive others and let go. Look within to find the endless resource. Bring forth joy and send it out. Look to Spirit for your inspiration. Live the life you talk about. Be the change you want to see in this place. Shine the light you want to grow. The truth you want to know around you. You're divine, so let it show, let it show. Look inside to find the God you're seeking. Know the path that is for you. Look to wisdom and imagination, 'cause the change you want is you. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the love you want to flow. Be the peace you want to feel around you. Forgive others and let go. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change.
Thank you, Daniel and Billy. And good morning, Unity in the Seven Hills. Let's start off by blessing the Christ candle. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God, the good, omnipotent. We're going to be starting a series on unity and world religions, which will go for a number of weeks. And I was so struck by this. One of America's leading sociologists, Professor Robert Bellah of the University of Berkeley, said, in the 1970s, I wrote of a post-traditional world. Today I believe that only living traditions make it possible to have a world at all. And so we will be looking at spiritual traditions, unity, and seeing that truth in various world religions. Let's just say, dear Spirit, thank you for unity of the Seven Hills. May it continue to be a city on a hill with a powerful and positive message, not just for Lynchburg, but for the world beyond. Thank you for our many, many blessings. There's a saying, you can't help but being in heaven, you can only fail to recognize it. Thank you, dear Spirit, for all our blessings. And with this we say, thank you and amen and amen. Each week we look at one principle We look at one principle of the five unity principles, and we're on the first principle right now, which essentially, because a lot of places God sort of is visioned sort of like a God that zaps. My God, you got that wrong. I mean, and we look at it very much differently. We believe in a God that is full of love, that we were born blessed and remain blessed. And that when you look at the universe that way, it is so different when you really feel you have a higher power supporting you. It gives you the power to, a lot of times, face difficult situations which you probably wouldn't have gotten through. But knowing that you're supported by this higher power, you can have serenity even in the face of calamity. Why don't we say this first unity principle together? God is all there is and is present everywhere. This is the force of love and wisdom that underlies all of existence. When that can become more than mumble words and really become a living reality for us, then we have a power, there's a stride in our step, there's a confidence. Despite, I wish I could tell you, you follow these five unity principles and nothing ever difficult's going to happen in your life. I don't think that's the deal. I think the deal is more like Noah and the ark. There will come crises, but like Noah, there will be an ark which sees us through. That's the deal. And when we have that, that is, that really is golden. That really, honestly, truly is golden. So, now let us bless our youth. We have such a wonderful YFM program. Crystal has done such a wonderful, wonderful job. Bring your kids, bring your grandkids, bring your neighbor kids, invite them to the program, because I think we really have a lot to offer there. So why don't we give them that blessing?
So let's stand. And bless our youth together. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are, and wherever you are. So let's sing. This bright light of mine. Here we go. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All the time, every time. Come on now. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Woo.
Let's affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, and heart connection and sacred service. And our vision is, centered in spirit, we see a world transformed by divine love, where innovative solutions are celebrated and all needs are met. And this February, Black History Month, we've been looking at words of wisdom from black leaders within the New Thought movement, and Ari's been culling this, and so let me bring him up here to read.
Okay. Making sure I'm on. So before I get started, just because it was a concept I came up with, I know Rick will probably mention it later, but I just want to point out how awesome this looks right now. It's almost 50% of the pledges, and in very few people, too. It's fantastic. So today's reading comes from Tracy Brown. It is a poem, and I will warn you, it's a little intense. But I think that we need to hear some of the struggle of different people in our country, and not to worry, because the daily word that will follow will pick us back up and follows real nicely after this. This is called Look in the Mirror. I see traces of you in my ancestry tree. Everywhere that I go, you are right there with me. But when you look around as you go about town, do you recognize yourself in the people all around? Or do you see them as other? Do you see them as threats? Do you fear those you think do not look like yourself? Do you name them and blame them and build a false fence? Does your self-worth rely on more murder and nonsense? Why cling to the lie that you deserve to sit high when your throne is a pedestal built on stories falsified? The truth is not hidden, yet you refuse to see, as if stubborn ignoring will change history. In this world we've created, there is violence and doubt. There is little respect. You block others out. You make your world smaller, believing it's safer, but you lie to yourself and lies morph into hatred. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? When you look in the mirror, does your reflection look like me? Can you see the shared history? Do you claim the shared destiny? Do your eyes reveal my soul or only an enemy? Are you willing to change, or would that just be too strange? Is it too much to expect that you would demonstrate respect or acknowledge all life is birthed by the same midwife? What now do we do to create a breakthrough? For the time has arrived when you absolutely must choose. What team will you join? Who are you willing to abuse? Can you stand by and watch children starved, caged, and shot? Can you pretend not to care? Will you heal your blind spots? Become more aware. Be willing to dare. Don't stay quiet and safe until you've waited too late and find the ones you most love experiencing the very same fate. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? When you look in the mirror, does your reflection look like me? And now our daily word, compassion, with Paula Capel.
Yes.
Good morning. Acts of loving compassion build my strength. Whether in my community or across the world, many people face hardships. As a member of the human family, I am inspired to undertake compassionate action and help wherever I can. Sometimes just a prayerful thought or simple blessing can make a powerful difference in someone's life. Other times, I may be able to take more direct action. I may listen to someone deeply as they share the concerns of their heart, or I may volunteer to drive them somewhere or complete errands for them. Regardless of the form my compassionate action takes, I am motivated to be of sacred service, to bring the love and care of God into manifest form through my decisive action. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them and cured their sick. Matthew 14:14.
Thank you, Paula. And now we have special music.
So, So one of the things I have done typically around this time is do my funny Valentine, but not this year. My message is actually, my song is to go with the message today, but happy Valentine's Day to everybody, and happy birthday to Sophie, whose birthday is on Valentine's Day, and we'll do birthdays later on today as well. So. I don't know. I tell you what. If you come to the Namaste Cafe on Thursday, I'll sing My Funny Valentine. And we actually have a sax player with us on Thursday as our special featured musician. So there you go. You can show up. Right, so this one is called Doing the Spiritual Walk. Bart always said the spiritual walk was this way, but I think we all have our own individual path. Let's do it, and our own individual walk. If you want to get up and dance, you can as well. We're all on our journey, trying to find our way, living and loving together, yeah, giving it day by day. Looking a little bit different, but hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. We're all on our journey, trying to find our truth, living and loving together. There's time for me and you, watching all the words we say, and hey, we're doing the spiritual walk, no buts. We're all just walking each other, hand in hand, sister and brother, oh, home through this strange new land. 2, 3, 4, we're all on our journey, trying to find our way, living and loving together, yeah, giving it day by day. Looking a little bit different, but hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. And we're all on our journey, trying to find our truth, living and loving together. There's time for me and you, watching all the words we say, and hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. We're all just walking each other, hand in hand, sister and brother, oh, home through this strange new land. 2, 3, 4, we're all on this journey, trying to find the way, living with each other. It's time for a brand new day, rising and shining together, yeah, hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. We're all on this journey, trying to find the way, living with each other. It's time for a brand new day, rising and shining together, yeah, hey, we're doing the spiritual walk. I don't know what my spiritual walk is. Oh, hang on. This is it. There you go. I knew I'd find it in the end. We're just seeking on our path, walking along. Woo! There you go. Happy spiritual walk day to you. Every day.
Thank you, Daniel. Well, we're starting a series on unity and world religions, which I think is the right subject for right here and right now, given all the stuff that we've been going through. And I'll tell you how I got really interested in doing this. At the time, I was still the minister at Unity of Roanoke Valley. And one of our congregants who's, has a good spiritual walk and, active, has taken many classes in unity thought and stuff like that. He comes to me and he says, Reverend Rick, given all that we're going through, I mean, the polarization, the pandemic, the violence, the shootings, and he goes through the list of everything. He said, you know what I feel like? I feel like we're on this boat, and if you look over here, here's the shore, and there's rocks, and we could be, ripped apart if we hit one of those rocks. You look out there, there's the ocean, and it's rough as a rough sea, and you go back to the back of the boat to steer, and there's no rudder. The rudder has vanished. And you look up to try to see the North Star so you could guide yourself, and the North Star is gone. No rudder, no star to guide you by. And I understand those feelings. Recently, around a week or two ago, I was able to go to an interfaith luncheon. Bonnie made some calls, and they said, "Oh, sure, have them come." And it was great to be there. And they mentioned to me, Reverend Nancy Purcell was one of the founding members of this group and had been so active in it, and they were so glad that you folks had another permanent minister. And this is like St. John's Unitarian Church, Baptist Church, which is from around here. And all of them were talking about changes that have happened. I mean, things which probably would have taken 10 to 15 years to happen. And just recently, it's been a year or two, the changes which would have taken 15 years to come through, it's just so come. And I can understand that sense of no rudder. Let me give one example. I mean, when I was down in Austin visiting my new granddaughter and my kids and the family and all that, I was struck because a number of years ago, wasn't all that long ago, when I was an executive with United Way, I had a wonderful market researcher, and she came to me and said, "My husband's job has moved to Florida. I'm going to Florida. I really feel badly. I would love to stay with you, but..." And I said to her, "It's all online now. Why couldn't you stay with us?" And so I went to the HR department and argued the case why we shouldn't lose Kristen. And oh my God, the HR, they practically wanted me to sign a blood oath and promise that I'd eat nothing but bowls of hot steam and carrot sticks for the rest of my life. And now what struck me when I was with my kids, 3/4 of them are working remotely. I mean, this happens so quickly. So I can understand that feeling. There's no rudder. The North Star is gone. But I felt, no, there are spiritual traditions. I mean, yes, and unity metaphysics. There's the relative realm, the material world, where change is constant. But Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of the Unity Movement, always said, look beyond appearances. Look beyond appearances. Look to that absolute realm of unchanging value. So what was really, so there was a big conference at Unity Village. If you've never been to Unity Village, it is such an incredibly wonderful spiritual oasis. So I went there and I was thinking, I'd like to do a series on unity and world religions, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know which book to, And Reverend Ellen Davenport came over to me by the fountains at Unity Village. She came over to me, and Reverend Ellen Davenport is the author of that wonderful book on Unity's 5 Principles, and also Hell in the Hallway, Heaven, it's a wonderful, wonderful book. She is now the editor-in-chief of Unity Publications. She came to me and she said, we've just today published a book which I think you might be interested in. I said to her, well, what is the name of the book? She said, the name of the book is Unity and World Religions. I mean, what synchronicity. What synchronicity. I got the copy of the book and I said, wow, that's it. I mean, that's that kind of synchronicity. So we're going to be using, actually 3 books, and it's not just Sunday. We're going to also be doing a spirit circle, which will be online on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. I know several of you have signed up. The sign-up sheet is in back, where we'll go into more detail each week. You know, for example, the week we're studying Buddhism, we'll go into more detail and things like that. But we will be, and I'm not suggesting you get all 3 books, believe me. Although one of you came up to me and said, you know, Reverend Rick, every time you mention a book, I've been writing it down, and I've been getting the books, and they're really good, but it's costing me a small fortune. So we'll be using 3 books, Unity and World Religions, which if you get one, this is the one I would suggest you get. It's by Reverend Paul Roach, a Welsh, a minister who he was the minister at Fort Worth for a good number of years. How does a Welshman wind up in Fort Worth? Interesting story. But we'll be using that. The second book which we'll be using is by Euston Smith. Euston Smith was an incredible professor of comparative religion at MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, of all places. You wouldn't think, you know, a guy in comparative religion, Massachusetts Institute of Technology would be his place. But all these brilliant guys and women making all these gizmos, you know, had questions. What does it all add up to? What does it all mean? So his classes were extremely popular. And I think it is one of the best one volumes on comparative religion. The last one we'll be using, and this is, if you don't even have to read it, it also serves as a door stopper. It's by a guy, Ken Wilber. I think he's my age, actually. I think of my generation, one of the most significant writers on spirituality and philosophy in general. So it's called The Religions of Tomorrow. We will be using, as it were, we will be using that. So through our studies of various religions, of various spiritual paths, we will be, in essence, asking 3 questions, 3 basic questions. So like when we get to Hinduism, let's ask those 3 questions. We get to Islam, let's ask those 3 questions. The Paul John Roach questions, and that's the first one. Reverend Paul believes, and I would very much agree with him, Paul looks at Unity's key principles, and he sees within them what he calls a perennial philosophy, or golden thread. Aldous Huxley, many of you know of him from Brave New World, Doors of Perception, those books. He also wrote another book called The Perennial Philosophy, where he looked at various religions and felt that at the core, there was a common golden thread. There was a common golden thread which keeps repeating time and time again. So Reverend Paul looks at this perennial philosophy or golden thread, and then he looks at different world religions, let's say Hinduism, and lo and behold, Reverend Paul finds that this golden thread is in Hinduism. The unity which, he is talking about, in one sense, one level, yes, the unity movement, but I think the unity beyond the unity movement is a grander or more, a more incredible type of unity that he is getting at. I think there is more than a grain of truth in what Reverend Paul is saying. Call it the collective unconscious, call it divine mind, call it higher self, call it enlightenment, call it God, call it spirit, or call it grace. This perennial philosophy, this golden thread, can be a key gleaning that can move us beyond these, I believe, these perilous times. And with these, and when we realize this, then we see that, yes, our boat is going through, I don't want to make soft pedal, we are going through some very rough difficulties. But our boat has a rudder, and it can steer. And the North Star is shining brightly. And when we can come into contact with this perennial philosophy, this golden thread, then yes, it may be difficult times, but we see one of my favorite lines from Amazing Grace: "'Tis grace that's seen us safe thus far, 'tis grace that will see us home." And we know that. But as important as Reverend Paul's point of view is, I think there is more to the story. The different world religions have emphasized different parts of the perennial philosophy. They've, as it were, cooked with different spices. They've come with different camera angles, almost like the old Hindu story about the blind men touching different parts of the elephant. Yes, it's still an elephant, but they've touched different parts of it. And I think Huston Smith, so the first questions we're going to be asking when we study a religious tradition is, at its core, do we see the perennial philosophy? Do we see the golden thread? The second questions we're going to ask are the Huston Smith questions. What different spices, what different camera angles, as it were, are these various religions taking? And can we learn from them? Would we be able to improve our spiritual walk by incorporating some of these, some of these different spices and some of these different camera angles? So that will be the second, what I'm going to call the Huston Smith questions. The third questions which we're going to be talking about are what I call the Ken Wilber questions. The Ken Wilber questions. The Ken Wilber questions are, I think Ken makes a very telling point when he says that no religion gets an A+ in everything. No religion gets an A+ in everything. Usually some are strong in some things, but they're weak in others. They're, vice versa for some. Consider unity. This is my take on it. And I know I'm not alone, because I've spoken to many ministers who would agree with this. When it comes to that sense of the I am, that internal, we call it the Christ within, that divine spark, that union with the Godhead, boy oh boy, I think unity gets an A+. When it also is talking about God as principle, as law, I think unity also gets an A+. I think we get an A+ on a lot of other things. But one of the things which traditionally we have been very weak on has been social justice. That's not been our strong suit historically. For example, go back to Martin Luther King's days of civil rights. You will see a ton of pictures where he is surrounded by Catholic priests and nuns. You will see ministers like Reverend William Sloane Coffin and Shelby Sprong and others with Martin Luther King. You will not find any pictures of Eric Butterworth with Martin Luther King. It's not that we were anti-civil rights. It just was not, high on it wasn't as high on our agenda, quite frankly, as it probably should have been. And I think we've been working on this. In recent years, I think Unity Worldwide Ministries has really, done, I think, so many positive things to really strengthen our social justice muscle. For example, Earth Care Ministry on the environment. Our stance of what we've done in terms of LGBTQ+, I think, has been extraordinary. And as a matter of fact, that luncheon which I went to was fascinating, hearing a lot of these other ministers talk about LGBTQ+ issues which are flipping through the church. And I thought, God, I am so grateful to be associated with something where that is not, that's such a non, that is such a non-issue, and it's clear where we are, and so and also in terms of social justice, a world that works for all. So I think Unity Worldwide Ministries and others in our movement have really worked at that and have worked at strengthening those muscles, but it hasn't traditionally been our strongest suit. So the Ken Wilber questions that I would like us to ask when we look at a religion or spiritual tradition, what is that spiritual tradition really good at? And what can we learn from that spiritual tradition where they're really good at? How can we incorporate a lot of that stuff in our spiritual walk? But also looking at where a spiritual tradition, has been really struggling, and what can we learn? What can we learn and do by looking at how other religions have really struggled with? I'll give an example. Well, let me give two examples. One is Judaism. I was raised in a Jewish family. Judaism sometimes can get off the train can get off the rails in overly intellectualism, become highly intellectual. But the interesting thing in Judaism has been that when that happens, there's a counter movement which tends to develop in Judaism. For example, the Hasidic movement and the Baal Shem Tov, the master of the good name. There's a counter to that. And let me give another example. Thich Nhat Hanh, the great Vietnamese Buddhist monk, was very concerned. Yes, Buddhism, we have so much to learn from Buddhism in terms of meditation. But Thich Nhat Hanh was very concerned that meditation can wind up navel-gazing. And so he really pushed for something called engaged Buddhism. Engaged Buddhism. So, I mean, looking at how other spiritual traditions have dealt with their weak sides and strong sides, I think can help us in our spiritual walk. So in the coming weeks, we will look at different religious traditions each week. And in looking at a specific religion, we again will be asking three questions. First, at its core, does this religion radiate, and how does it radiate, the perennial philosophy and the golden thread that Reverend Paul is talking about? Second, and this is the Houston Smith questions, what different spices, what different emphasis is this religion showing? The Houston Smith questions. And third, what is this religion particularly good at? And where is it strong? And what can we learn from this? The Ken Wilber questions. And also, sometimes the strengths can also ironically turn around and be a weakness. For example, when we get to Islam, spiritual surrender is a big key point in the Islamic faith, and that sense of spiritual surrender. There's a lot to learn from that. However, it can get out of hand to the point where you're turning surrender to a mullah or some religious leader who has a lot of different, I wouldn't say his views are necessarily tied up with the perennial philosophy. So I'm looking forward to this. I really am looking forward to it. If I could mix some metaphors, fasten your seatbelts, batten down the hatches. We're going to go on a wild and incredibly interesting ride. And I really honestly truly hope that when we get to the end of it, You may feel, my God, these really are perilous times. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. But there really is a rudder to our boat. And the North Star is still shining very brightly. Thank you, and God bless.
So as we go into meditation today, we're going to be singing another old classic. I've brought back some of the songs that we used to have on permanent rotation, actually, and this is one of those. So, One Presence. It's dark today. One presence and one power. I know it's God. There is one presence, one presence and one power in my life. There is one presence and one power. I know it's God.
Let's take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Let's take another deep breath in and slowly let it out. Let's close our eyes if we feel comfortable doing so. I would ask you to picture a mentor in your life, a loving mentor. And if you've not had that experience, to fantasize what that mentor would look like. The mentor you want, the one mentor you may have always wanted. And you're sitting with this mentor, feeling the love, warmth, and support. The wisdom, compassion, and guidance. And thankful that there is, or was, or can be such a mentor in your life. And with this peace and with this hope, we gladly go into the silence. Thank you for these wise mentors, these teachers. Thank you for our many blessings. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen.
I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Let's stand and sing. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am
the love of
God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well.
Thank you, Dan. Be seated, please. We now come to that time of tithes, gifts, offerings. I got to tell you, I already pointed this out, but I find this one incredible. Our fiscal year will end in August, and so we said, well, how much would we need to cover basics? And we came up with 46,885. And in 2 weeks, we reached pledges of over 20,000. So we're at roughly 43% in 2 weeks. And this is the congregation which paid off the mortgage. This is the congregation which, in these buildings, Beacons of Hope came out of, and an $8 million good work. And so I shouldn't be surprised that we're doing so well. I'm not looking, but they're in the back. There you'll see that, how can I help Unity? And we are asking if you, not just pledges of money, but also of time, treasure, and talent. Of area. I'm interested in volunteering in terms of youth and family ministry, or in terms of helping in the kitchen, or in terms of whatever. Those types of volunteering are really, really, honestly, truly important. Just like financial funds are important. So, thank you. I think I'm optimistic of our reaching the total very, very soon. Once we reach that, then in terms of pledges, we know that we have for this year, we have for this year covered. I got to tell you, in terms of frugal operations, been associated with several ministries. In many ways, this is the most frugal ministry I've ever. I mean, it's freezing during the week. I mean, you literally, and that's the way it should be. You don't need to heat buildings when they're not people, when they're not people there. So believe me, it is going to good causes. So why don't we affirm our abundance together? Unity in the Seven Hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And we accomplish mighty works together. And with that abundance, it's time to share blessings. This we do every month by contributing to various operations of Unity Worldwide Ministries, Silent Unity. And it's Miriam House, right? Jubilee. We switched. Okay, yes, we did switch. This month, it's February, not January, Rick. It is to Jubilee. There are many, many ways to give, particularly folks online. It's important for support online. You can give through Zelle, check, cash, PayPal. Click in the links below. And as I say, snail mail, it's a little slower than it used to be, but snail mail still works. So, something wonderful.
So don't forget as you come down to take an affirmation out of the pot and bless our basket. And let's stand and sing something wonderful. Kids are ready at the back as well. Here we go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, oh, I can feel it in my soul, yes I can. I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside. We can let it shine out, yes we can. There's something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, oh, I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside. We can let it shine out, yes we can. There's something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, oh, I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside. We can let it shine out, yes we can. Something wonderful. So let's bless the gifts together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world. And now we're going to
There's come to our
Yeah.
soup bowl.
Yep. So we have chaplain today is Sally, and she's right over there. If you would like to, she will hold space with you, pray with you, and yes, we're about to close with the peace song, but don't forget the Super Bowl, SOUP, Bowl Sunday. But before that, if you're watching at home, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and click that bell icon. Go on, do it. You know you want to. For notifications, it's the easiest way to access our live streams. And if you haven't done, just make sure you subscribe, because we're going to push for all those subscribers online. Hey, and if there's like 30 odd people here in this room, when you get home, don't forget to click on subscribe for our Unity in the Seven Hills YouTube channel, and we'll push our way up to the numbers we need to also get some income from that too. All right, let's go. Let's sing the peace song. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we'll walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Go Chiefs!
And Eagles, I guess, if you want that. But see you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And downstairs.